So corporeal things and ethereal things cannot be the antonyms of one another. They're not antonyms. The antonym to positive is not something corporeal, it's negative. Like an idea, the antonym of that would be an idea. Generally speaking, there isn't really an antonym to a corporeal substance. That's what philosophy is. That's the purpose of philosophy. That's basically what philosophy refers to and how it's used. It helps us explain things at a very metaphysical level, structuring a formation and a foundation for how we do it. That's a terrible way of saying it. I hate those words. Modern philosophy has been fucked. I'm thinking, like, first of all, what if there was like a third or a fourth or a fifth category for that? They're not opposites if they're just the next thing in a category of things that we say, oh, well, they're like divisions, dimensions. So the reason why I'm bringing up this topic is because for me, my downtime, I don't appreciate just using my eyes or just using my ears or just using silence and being like, oh yeah, I can sit on my deck. You know, I could use a little bit of time right now going fishing or sitting there with a beer in my hand and doing nothing. I'm gonna suntan. That's just not me. And I don't mean to take that away from anyone else because I thought myself bald. And other people, the people that do that, they're usually very witty people. You can have a very intellectual discussion with those people and they don't have to think themselves bald to do it. They free themselves up so that they can function in incredible ways, and it makes it so humor comes at you like a bomb and everything. They're great. I don't mean to take from, I'm not trying to make you, but the point is, I've never been like that. For me, one of my downtimes was video games, and that's kind of why I'm coming around to this. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about philosophy there at the beginning is because this is really a phenomenon, and that's what's significant about this. It's a phenomenon. So, 7-year-old me couldn't come up with a way to critique Spyro #1 when I was at my friend's house, and so that's one example. And then you got Pac-Man. It's pretty hard to critique Pac-Man. I mean, it's Pac-Man. Who cares? But then you get like those side-scroller games, and for me, my entire life, I don't come into a game and say, okay, I'm just going to deal with what the game is and appreciate for what it is. I would naturally come into a game, and the first thing I'm doing is evaluating everything. I taught myself how to make video games every single time I turned a game on. I critiqued the hell out of everything, and I couldn't help but do so. That was just my natural instinct. And so, like, the first episode of Metal Gear Solid, the little promo game, you sit there and you can't climb over a box. Like, they improved what Metal Gear Solid was from being a directional shooter to being a game with an actual crosshair and made it first-person shooter because they developed it and they made it better. They incrementally improved the game. And I've been developmentally improving games every single frame of the fucking game my entire life. That's what I do when I play video games. Now, the reason why this all comes around to being a phenomenon is because when you look at all the games that came out, Devil May Cry, it's crap. But, yeah, and people are like, oh, come on, I got nothing else to play. But no, it's crap. And, like, the only game that looks like it's, like, objectively, like, you couldn't critique it is Ratchet and Clank 5. I mean, it's the only game that actually looks like you can't critique. The rest of the games, I mean, there's a lot of games that look beautiful. There's a lot of games that look pretty damn fancy. There's a lot of games that look really fun. But, like, generally speaking, there's, like, 3 or 5 games that I've seen that you couldn't critique and you can accept for what they are, and they're good. It's like there you go, a perfect game. And those games are very easy, small, kind of pathetic, lifelong initiative games to have aspired to make for what the general audience would say, hey, you know what? I'm going to become a video game developer and I'm going to pay off my living expenses with this. Now, it's not that making that game was a bad decision at all. They were great games, but it's like you're not going to pay for your house with that. It's a really weird career decision. And then, so I've said before that the video games, they suck and they're going to continue to suck and they're not going to get better and you're never going to see anything good ever again. That's what I said. That's kind of why I'm coming back to this, because it's a phenomenon that people, the streamers, they don't complain about the games. I mean, they're like incredibly unintellectual. It's kind of bizarre, but like no one's critiquing the quality of these games. It's like no one wants to get to the next gen, and it's like click to swing, and that's all you get. And it's like, hey, you know what, we'll give you a jump, and you know what, when you jump, you can jump and you can roll in the air to go even higher up. And you know what's even better than that? You can roll on the ground to go faster than running. You can run, or you can roll and you'll go faster. Hey, yeah, that's what video games have come to, and no one critiques anything. It's like, what the fuck? And if you don't get a double jump, you get nothing. And that's almost like literally games without double jumps literally pretty much have nothing else. It's like, that's pretty much what it comes to. But these people are like under the impression the graphics are compensating for something, because we played pixel art and that was fine. But when we played pixel art, they maxed out the ROM and the RAM. And when we played games like Devil May Cry, that was cutting edge technology, and you'd think everyone was thinking the way I was thinking. You'd critique the hell of the game and think, oh man, when we get more power into this device, if we get another computer and we hook that computer up to this computer and double our RAM, man, imagine what we can do with this. Because I'm not going to throw out my computer when it gets old. I'm going to annex it onto my new computer and use twice as much RAM. Or if at least not twice as much RAM, I'll buy a computer that has more RAM, and I'll have my original game and I'll make it 300% better. And that's the next game I'll play. And even if all the prosthetics look different, it could have all the same mechanics. And that's what happened, and no one's giving a shit. And so that's the phenomenon. The phenomena is they're acting like video games aren't crap when they are crap. There is nothing out there. Now, of course, there's stuff out there. I mean, there's stuff that kids can appreciate as much as we appreciate games. When we would turn it on and you're playing Metal Gear Solid and you can't jump over a box to shoot at a guy who's not looking at you, you have to run around 3 different corners before you can pick them off, because you're playing a game where if 2 things are looking at you at once, you're screwed and you lose the level. I mean, like Pac-Man, you get a power up, it freezes the whole lane. You get another power up, you got like a 4 square whip. You've got like a bubble that makes it so you can potentially, well, no, you couldn't even potentially. When you hit your little gray little dots there, you can't kill the big ghost. I've said this, there's like a portal that doesn't go over the edge of the map. It's a predetermined little thing, and there's like a switch that you flick that changes the direction of the portal. So if you run from the ghost and you go the wrong way, you flick the switch and it changes the direction of the portal. So you're like, ah, damn, I got nothing to do. It's like, that never even happened. You've never even seen Pac-Man, like, what is that, Pac-Man 5 now? The Pac-Man 4 didn't have any of that shit. Now Rocket Cars looks pretty sweet, yeah. Couldn't really, I wouldn't even try to critique that game, but how long can you play Rocket Cars as someone who plays video games? I mean, as someone who played video games in my life, you play like 12 different games at least a month, or at least a year. So like, what else are you turning to? Because when I would turn to another game, it was like, okay, you're playing Lord of the Rings. The game sucked. It really sucked. But was it worth playing through the game? Yeah, for sure. So are these games worth playing through? Oh, yeah, for sure. And that's the phenomenon, because no one gives a crap about what they're actually flipping playing. You get caught up in that first excitement of trying to beat the first level of the Metal Gear Solid promo. It doesn't matter that you know it's shit. You're going to sit there and you're going to play it. And every single game on the entire market is that. And they don't sell you better quality than that. That's all you get. And nothing else is coming. And it's not about adding more features to the game. It's not about having more gambits so that you have a broader dynamic. It's that the development team doesn't care. And the funders and the sponsors don't care. And half the clientele are just womanizing druggy bigots that don't give a shit. And so it's never going to get better, because the clients are the fucking problem. And the clients are the people that go and get the jobs. And the clients are the ones who are making the sponsor interested in listening.